Right, Rangers, today's lineup of news is explosive. We've got transfer updates that could shake up January, a cheeky Chelsea star edging closer to a move, and a new twist in the saga of a £3 million rated fan favourite who might just be packing his bags. But that's not all. Hamza Igamane's turning heads south of the border after setting the pitch on fire. And if that doesn't get you riled up, wait until you hear what a Celtic player's had the gall to say about that VAR controversy. Trust me, you'll want to stay till the end for this one. There's plenty to get your teeth into and a few things you'll not believe. Let's dive in. Right, so here's the crack. Rangers are sniffing around Leeds United's Joe Gelhardt for a January move, but it seems our old mate Niels Koppen might need to wheel and deal a bit here. According to the Daily Mail, I know, take it with a pinch of salt, they've got their eyes on the 22-year-old striker from Liverpool. Thing is, the club's finances are looking tighter than Celtic's defence on a bad day. So we might be talking a loan deal instead of splashing the cash. Now, young Hamza Igamane's been showing his worth lately. Fair play to the lad, but it seems the top brass reckon we need a bit more firepower up front. That's where Gelhardt comes in. He's played in the Championship and even rubbed shoulders with some Premier League big boys, so he's no stranger to a proper battle. Add his work ethic and you can see why Philippe Clement might fancy him. Of course, this whole thing could also be tied to the Dezers dilemma. The big man's not exactly covered himself in glory, let's not mention that penalty, and it feels like the fans have all but packed his bags for him. If the club can flog him off in January, the need for someone like Gelhardt becomes crystal clear. But whether Gelhardt's meant to be the main man or just cover, well, your guess is as good as mine. Now, here's a thought to stir the pot. If money's that tight, should we even be looking at bringing in a loanee like Gelhardt when the likes of Igamane are proving themselves? Or is it time to sell Dezers at any cost and gamble on fresh blood? Here we go again with Rangers dipping into the transfer market, and this time it's young Carney Chukwuemeka in the spotlight. The 21-year-old's time at Chelsea's been about as useful as a chocolate teapot, and now their managers all but told him to pack his bags. Enzo Maresca has confirmed Carney's on the probably leaving list come January, which could be a proper bonus for Rangers as Philippe Clement looks to shake things up. Chukwuemeka's got the talent, no doubt. He's an England under-21 international and was once highly rated by Steven Gerrard back in his Aston Villa days. Sure, things haven't clicked at Chelsea since his £20 million move, but dropping him into the Scottish Premiership could be exactly what he needs to rediscover his form. Let's be honest, the league would suit his skill set down to the ground. Plenty of space for a dynamic midfielder to shine. Now, the big question is whether we're talking a loan deal or a permanent move. Apparently, both options are on the table, but here's the kicker. Celtic are also sniffing around. I imagine letting them nick a player of this quality from under our noses. The lad's pedigree and potential are obvious, but would splashing out on someone like Chukwuemeka, a player yet to prove himself consistently, be a risk too far for a club trying to sort its finances? Or is it worth the gamble to stop him landing at the green lot across the city? Here's a tasty one for you. Haji, the lad who seemed halfway out the door not long ago, is suddenly back in the Rangers mix, and now there's fresh interest from Genoa in Serie A. The Italian club are reportedly very keen and already chatting with Rangers about a potential deal for the Romanian playmaker. Funny how things change. Haji's been a bit of an enigma this season. Philippe Clement had practically binned him off earlier in the year, only to reinstate him recently and call him an excellent player. To be fair, the guy's shown flashes of brilliance in the past few weeks, reminding everyone why he was so highly rated when he first arrived. But let's not get carried away. It's still unclear if he fits into Clement's long-term plans, even with this mini resurgence. The transfer fee being floated about is £3 million, which might seem a bit low considering his talent. But let's be real, he struggled for consistency and fitness since that long injury layoff, so maybe that's just where the market's at. There were Turkish clubs sniffing around in the summer, and even Strasbourg and Borussia Mönchengladbach had a gander. Now, Genoa seem to think they can bag him for a decent price. As for Haji himself, he's playing it cool. He's all about wanting to win and giving his best for the club, which is the right thing to say, but he's hardly slapping a not for sale sign on his forehead. So here's the kicker. Should Rangers cash in on Haji while his stock's up, or is it daft to sell a player Clement's finally starting to warm to? And more to the point, if we let him go for £3 million, are we selling ourselves short? Well, here's a proper soap opera for you. Hamza Igamane, the Moroccan marvel who's gone from an unknown to a Rangers sensation in the blink of an eye, is now being linked with Everton. The Toffees have just had a whopping £400 million takeover by some American billionaire, and it seems they've already got their eyes on our new star boy. Let's give Hamza his dues. He's been on fire lately. That Europa League brace against Nice was the stuff of dreams, and he's managed 5 goals in 5 games, including a belter against Spurs. Leon Balogun's even gone and compared him to Didier Drogba, which is some shout. But here's the rub. Everton, for all their new money, are still skint thanks to those Premier League profit and sustainability rules. So unless they find a way to wriggle out of that, they're more likely to be shopping in the bargain bin than throwing millions at us for Hamza. What's even more interesting is how much we'd slap on his price tag. He cost us just £1.7 million. But with his form and potential, we're surely talking 8 figures now. Anything less would be daylight robbery. Everton are also sniffing around other players, including Yuri Alberto from Corinthians, but his price tag makes Hamza look like a steal. Here's where it gets spicy though. Should we even entertain selling Hamza when he's just getting started? Or, and here's the real kicker, do we risk pricing him so high that he ends up stuck, leaving us with an unhappy player if the big move doesn't come? Well, if your blood wasn't already boiling over that League Cup final VAR farce, Anthony Ralston's comments will surely push you over the edge. Let's set the scene. A 3-3 cracker at Hampton. Liam Scales takes down Vaclav Cerny on the edge of the box. A penalty's there for all to see, and what do we get? Sweet nothing. And to make matters worse, we lose the final on penalties. I mean, you couldn't make it up. Now, Celtic's Ralston has come out and basically said he couldn't care less about the controversy. Of course, he's buzzing about their win. Wouldn't you be if the refs had handed you a trophy, but rubbing salt into the wound? He's acting like it's just part of the game, like someone nicking the last pie at the chippy. Let's be clear. The SFA have admitted the VAR decision was unacceptable. Alan Muir and Frank O'Connor, the officials in question, have been benched for the next round of matches, a quiet nod to their colossal cock-up. But what good does that do for us now? Willie Collum saying, that was wrong, doesn't stick another cup in the Rangers cabinet, does it? Ralston's not our place excuse might hold water if the incident wasn't so blatant, but it reeks of arrogance to brush it off and then lap up a win that's as tainted as weak old haggis. The SFA's incompetence gifted them the match, and he knows it. Now, here's the £1 million question for you. If VAR's decisions are this unreliable, should we as fans even trust the officials when it comes to games as massive as Rangers versus Celtic? Or are we stuck watching our club fight uphill battles with one hand tied behind their back? If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now.